Hey guys, I'm Ted, here to give you another fast fact, and this fast fact regards Andrew Johnson and Congress. Andrew Johnson and Congress had a very contentious relationship. And their relationship all stemmed from Andrew Johnson wanted to take it easy on the returning slave states. He was not a fan of African Americans. He was a noted racist, deeply held racist beliefs. Andrew Johnson had, sorry. And of course, the radical wing of the Republican Party were gaining an ascendancy in Congress at the time, and that sort of set the stage for the conflict. The radicals in Congress wanted to punish the leaders of the Confederate States, the slavocrats, by taking their land and their wealth. They also wanted to take away their voting rights, and they formulated a plan that included a political union between Southern Unionists and freedmen in the former rebel states. The Republicans decided to deny seats to the newly elected congressmen and senators from the former rebel states. Most of the former free states expressed anger at the course that Reconstruction under President Johnson had taken. They favored harsher measures. Moderate Republicans. They dominated the Congress that met in December of 1865. When Congress met, they denied their seats to all members sent to the former rebel states, except for the members sent from the states of Tennessee. They said that the African Americans should be protected from discrimination and intimidation in the South. There was also widespread intimidation in the southern states following the end of the war. Now, the moderates and the conservatives wanted to try to rein in Andrew Johnson, but the Republicans, the radical Republicans, they pushed for harsher measures against the president. A joint committee on Reconstruction was put together, as noted earlier in our last bad fact, and they were dominated by moderates, and they called for an expansion of the Freedmen's Bureau. They call for a definition of civil rights, and they call for giving federal courts the right to hear cases regarding violation of these newly defined civil rights. Congress duly passed these acts supporting these points, but Johnson vetoed them. He said they were unconstitutional because he vetoed these acts because they were citing them as unconstitutional because Congress was legislating for states that were unrepresented in Congress. Congress grew embittered and tried again with the Civil Rights Bill of March 1866. Now, this bill gave African American citizenship, nullified all the black codes, and granted property and legal rights to African Americans, but not the vote. Johnson vetoed this as well. Democrats in Congress were thrilled. The Republicans were beyond upset. And even moderates began to side with the radicals in Congress. Congress then passed the Freedmen's Bureau Bill and the Civil Rights Bill over Johnson's veto in 1866. Then began work on a constitutional amendment for readmitting the southern states. African Americans, aided by the Freedmen's Bureau, resisted such efforts by the states to enforce their social restructuring. To compound matters, there was a critical shortage of labor. Those who were resisting the black codes served to derail the restoration of slavery. Had the black codes, as they were known, nearly restored the old order, the pre-war order, intact. And indeed, in many of the black codes, the word slave was simply replaced by Negro. And then you guys have it, a quick fast fact on the dueling going on between Congress and Andrew Johnson during his presidency. I hope you guys liked that. I hope you guys found it enlightening, maybe even entertaining. The fact that the president and Congress were going tit for tat over national policy. Has always hit like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you thought about this fast fact. Let me know what you thought about the clashing between Andrew Johnson and Congress over the course of Reconstruction. And as always, I'm Ted, and I'll see you guys next time for another fast fact.